Hey, just a little short video to talk about emotions, which obviously are an effect of your thinking. If you're thinking sad thoughts, you're going to suffer from the effect of having emotions to match, etc. And if you're thinking happy thoughts, then generally, that's the way it goes. But we tend to wonder why we get stuck in these cycles of depression and anxiety and sad thoughts and not fitting in, and I feel out of sorts and I've been off for a while, I don't know what's going on for me. Well, one thing in the spiritual realm, which we all are in, regardless of our alignment to our physical nature around us and our body, the world and the universe actually does vibrate on a purely spiritual or on a formless level. And if you were to break anything down in quantum physics, let's say as a scientific reference, you would realize that the universe around you, including your own body, is 99.9% space. It's formless. But our mind manifests a reproduction of an idea projected outwards that we look at and think this is tangible and this is what I am. But we're using the power of the mind of God to do that, or the universal mind to do that. So it's a very, very powerful mind, and I guarantee you that what we find ourselves capable of in the physical sense is just a minuscule, 3% or 5% of what our mind can do. But the simple reason that we have these emotional states of high and low and everything is because we use a thought system based on judgment to try and locate ourselves in time and space as a body, in a world, in a universe, to try and validate what we think we are, because we don't really know what we think we are. We don't know what we are. We can say we are spirit, we can say we're on the journey of the soul, we can say all this stuff, and oh yeah, isn't this lovely spiritual stuff? But until you know it, until you've experienced it, there's this emptiness. There's this longing, this feeling like you need to fit in. It's like, why am I here? What am I doing? Right? Which is what our true journey on earth is really all about. It's not about making money, who dies with the most toys. It's about a part of the journey of our soul wherein here we experience ourselves separate from God, separate from the universe, separate from everyone and everything else around us, seemingly autonomous. And we embark upon the journey of the soul here when we realize that our dualistic or judgmental thought system of good and bad doesn't bring us anything, doesn't make us happy. The yin follows the yang, and we can't have a good without a bad. So the spiritual path lets both of those perspectives go, good and bad, love and fear. And when I say love, you'll go, well, what do you mean love? Isn't the spiritual path about love? Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. But not love as humanity or the human mind focuses on it and makes it out to be, as a chemical reactive kind of emotional state. Oh, this person ticks all the boxes. It must be love because I feel X, Y, Z. All right, so we've got wallabies down there. Somewhere or other, they sleep up here on this deck some nights when it's bucketing down rain. So, of course, we're not going to fit in here into this world. This world is not our home. We come from a purely formless state, and this manifestation of this physical nature and this illusory, this dream state world that we find ourselves in, that's so seemingly tough and hard, and it seems very real. But compared to what? Like we just said, quantum physics has already broken it down to it's nothing. It shouldn't actually exist, right? So our mind makes it real. Now, our mind's capable of other things as well, apart from the good, bad, yin-yang manifestations that make this real and cause us to have emotional reactions all over the place where we feel uneasy, feel anxiety, feel separation from everyone and everything. Our mind is also capable of choice. And the choice that we make on a spiritual level in this world for a singular state, which will then align us with the singular state of our eternal truth, let's say, or our eternal reality, which is inner peace, right? So here we draw a center line. I don't want good or bad. I'm just going to bring all of those things into a state of inner peace within myself by letting go of all my attachments, desires, my revulsions, and my resistance, and everything. Right, so we're going to, in essence, in our mind, we give up the world, give up all the value in everything, and allow whatever's meant to be to be. And that'll take a little minute at the start. It'll take a bit of practice, and if you're lucky enough to have a copy of A Course in Miracles, which you can get online for about $25, you can use the workbook lessons, one a day for a whole year, to help you let go of the way you see things now and foster a new way of perceiving yourself and others while still finding yourself here as a traveller in time and space. Right, now there's a lot more to it. I mean, obviously I could go on and on and on, and having had my own enlightenment experience in '97 and other experiences of transcendental nature since then, I can pretty much answer any question you have about life, the universe, and everything. But it's for you to do. This is your journey, not mine. I've done my bit, and I'm simply here now representing my matter-of-fact certainty that God is a real thing. God is a fact, and we are all an equal and a whole part of that, even on earth where we seem to be different and at different levels and unequal and all the rest of it. Right? However, on earth, the oneness of, let's say, the Christ-mindedness of humanity doesn't really apply because we're all at our own level. So the homogeneity of humanity is not a true reflection of the state of oneness of, let's say, the united Christ mind or universal mind. So when we try to look for it out in the world, of course we're not going to find it. We can only find it within ourselves. And allowing each and everybody else to get the results of their own thinking and learn at their own pace is where we free ourselves up from that Mother Teresa complex of wanting to be a helper and to be a fixer. There's nothing to fix. There's no one to help. I make these videos in a certain sense to keep my own mind sharp, to keep me aligned to where it is that I find myself to be 24/7 as a communicating, just like that, just then, as a communicating entity connected to the universal flow, let's say. And that vibration then joins with the universal flow that goes out and affects everyone and everything to usher in a time of peace. And in this world, if you turn on the television, you probably really need to be about that as quick as you can. But we are eternal. These things don't matter. We've had many lifetimes before. We may have many more to go. Doesn't matter. It's just a journey. Nothing can happen to you in reality. In the dream, however, delay in time is tragic in this illusion. So pull out all stops. Make as much effort as you can. And what you put into it, you'll get out of it. And I guarantee you that your spiritual path is much more understandable once you get the hang of it, and much more tolerable whilst you find yourself on earth than walking around in the dark, in ignorance, in not knowing where you are, where you belong, and what your purpose here is. All right? Your purpose here is to find oneness in all things and bring all things together in one final state of understanding. All right, I love you. Catch ya.